It may be understood that sub-optimizing is not a good idea. You have to look at the total picture so that you make the best judgment. But one of the worst cases of sub-optimization is we have ego. Well, we may not have, but the bad habit may pop up at occasion, and it may take over what we do. Our judgment get blurred, that you lose the whole balance of it. And then, let's say example, maybe investment. You bought some stock, start to go down, you get upset, and thinking that your thesis should work, so you buy more and more. And then stock goes much worse. It can happen. It happens all the time. So it's sub-optimization that we should avoid. And the ego is the worst of all, that you are confined in the way your ego directs you to do, and you don't see anything more than that, because you have a limited understanding of the world. Nobody's perfect, and you don't have access to all the information. There are lots of signs that may indicate, statistically, for example, or some use of the brain. There's a sign, but we don't notice the sign. That's the problem, because our mind may be too occupied. And it happens, and I see it happening perhaps more because of the fake news and unknowns that we face. Lots of turbulence. So what do? We need to be very aware of potential danger. And for that to happen, we have to have a calm and quiet mind, not attached to certain view, or not your view, but someone else that you trust. And if he's a very famous person, if says something, you want to trust because you're not confident about yourself. But if that happens, you're playing the dice, playing the game of someone else and your intuition, which may be blurred. So that's part of the learning from child days to be adult. But even in adult, we still carry such a habit. This time it should work. Well, I believe this is the case. It's called blind faith. And the wisdom is the opposite of it. I posted a video, and you can find it. I think the title is something like, when a tree branch fails, it would learn the way to stop so that the water and nutrition to go to that branch. Like if it has a disease or insect or some such thing happen, or broken branch. So you redistribute the energy in a direction. So you optimize. How shall I call that as a concept? H maximization. I'm not going to go into detail, but the concept is that we can have lots of options, and we have options, but we may not know it because our mind is closed and believing the wrong information. So you have to check and balance, triangulate, listen to other viewpoint, and it takes energy and maturity. And the spirituality, it may sound something foreign. It's indicating not just be confined in our own mind, but relate to all the database we have accumulated over time that may be stored in our subconscious from the childhood memories and some hearsay. But if our mind is too narrowly focused, we don't have the access to the deeper level of our knowledge. So AI deep learning is in a way advanced because the computer can now access huge amount, trillions of, I don't know what the term, data point, and find a way to synthesize to make the most out of it by using certain algorithm, which is to basically find the maximum value or negating compared to other values that much less. Don't choose that, but focus on the best value. I think it's called loss function. There's an algorithm to figure this out. So we have to do the same, called the backward propagation. You go backward into deep depth of your knowledge and memory, and then synthesize the idea or let the situation to evolve, come out like nature's way. So that's the samadhi. And through samadhi, calm and quiet mind to go deeper without occupying your mind in some thinking, linear logic, this should work and all that. But let go. Deeper, deeper, deeper. Focus on breathing and open up your mind. Then you have the access. It's kind of like a dream, but not in the same way. But there's a self-organizing process as living being that point to orchestrate so that all the potential, the cells and all body and mind can be accessed to find the right solution given the situation. That's how we are born as human, the miracle, following the laws of nature. So samadhi is get to the level of connecting to the base, the grounded level of who we are, the source of where we came from, so to speak. AI the same. Backward propagation is to try to do that. And it has shown such a wonderful result, and we can do the same. So, like I said, it's like a tree. Living being has lots of branches and expanding, the sun, wind, all the condition change, nutrition from the root, and optimize. But when the disease hit, or some animal ate your branch, you have to redistribute. And if you see the branches being eaten as a living being, you as a tree analogy of tree, then that thought, wait a minute, I feel something is itchy or different on this, so that's the intuition, and then go into samadhi. Wait a minute, let's see if it's appropriate to keep focusing on that. So you open up the possibility to make the right judgment and find the new passage to live life. And this has to continue. So every time you may have awakening, you may realize certain new potential or negating some of the negatives and shifting because you are learning the lesson. The wisdom pop up. It's not coming from the brain. I say it's coming from the heart, the source of who we are, the source of how we have this life on earth and be alive. That's miracle. And connect to the miracle source of liveliness. And when you have the sense that's awakening, you feel much happier, peaceful, accepting. And from that acceptance comes the wisdom. That's why sila and wisdom, samadhi or compassion, and move on. So the tree can find the negativities and let go, to find the positivities to redistribute energy, cut it off this branch and move on this or that. So sometimes it's inconvenient to do it, to redistribute, because you have to develop the new passage. It takes some time and energy. But that's life. And we can learn the lesson with the empowered source that we have within us. That comes with samadhi. Just an analogy of a tree making their best, applied us to make a good judgment, not too focused on the ego or preconceived notion, but be ready to adapt to what we face as a challenge in our life. That we succeeded to come this far. Let's keep connecting to the source of that creativity and apply it to live life happily.